And now, two legends back to back, side by side.
You can't be that old, Willard.
Did you know it was 30 years ago, this spring, that I started on television when at WRC with Willard Scott? You know.
The man who just made that earth-shaking statement is the man who is the heart and soul, as Mr. Gumble says, of the Muppets, now seen in 100 countries by some 250 million people, and Kermit and Miss Piggy certainly are among the most famous individuals, recognizable figures in the world today. The good news is that Jim Henson here is here to talk about a new Muppet movie. Thank goodness, after this terrible summer of movies, that the kids are finally going to have something good to see. The Muppets Take Manhattan.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about the movie.
Well, this is a film that Frank Oz wrote and directed, and he did a beautiful job. It's a film that takes place here in Manhattan, and it's a picture really for the whole family. We were trying to design a film that would work for kids, would work for adults.
Well, isn't that one of the secrets of the Muppets, the fact that the Muppets are not just for children? I mean, your evening half-hour Muppet show, I bet, attracted more adults than it did children.
Well, we've always done things that we liked. You know, we've tried to do a show appealing to ourselves and our own sense of humor, and so it wasn't like we've ever worked particularly for children or for adults. You know, just trying to do good entertainment.
One of the good things about the Muppets Take Manhattan is that it is not a violent movie. In the summer of violent movies, you finally have one that is funny and endearing and lots of fun and no violence. What's your opinion of all the violence on the screen these days?
Well, you know, I think this film is G-rated, and it's a strange and sort of sad thing that the G rating has come to be thought of as a real negative. And I've always felt that people should be able to do a film that works for the whole family, that doesn't have anything that, you know, any kind of violence or sex or whatever, and it's still very entertaining. You know, there's no reason why you can't do a film that's very entertaining and still be G-rated.
Well, you have a new television program coming up for children, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but I want to preview it a little bit. Jim Henson decided to have some fun with all this rock video that we see on, and so going back to the progenitors of the Muppets, we go back to the baby Muppets, and we're going to show you a rock video of the Muppets as babies. I wish all the videos were that good.
See, that was all based on a sequence that's in this film.
Exactly. In the Muppets Take Manhattan, you can see that.
That's right, that's right. And the Muppet Babies are part of that. And,
is it fun to do those kind of effects?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a unit called a Mirage that takes and manipulates the image like that, and it's so much fun to work with.
Now tell me, you have a new Saturday morning television show coming on, I hope?
Yeah, we've taken the Muppet Babies, and we've turned them into an animated series that we're going to do on Saturday morning this coming fall. And it's a show that we're very excited about.
Is Fraggle Rock still on? When are we going to see Fraggle Rock in the United States instead of just Canada?
Oh, well, Fraggle Rock's on HBO in this country.
It's on HBO.
Yeah, so it's quite solid. It's doing fine.
So when's it going to be seen in America? I repeat.
Well, if you have HBO, it's on several times a week there. But we're doing, the Saturday morning show that we're doing is really a nice experiment. It's something we're quite excited about because we're trying to design a show that really encourages kids to use their imagination. And so it's something I haven't tried Saturday morning before. And so this, for me, is a nice experiment.
Well, until then, we can wait for the Muppets Take Manhattan that opens this week. Then we can see that show. And, Jim, if you'll be sure to tune in tomorrow morning, we have a special guest on today tomorrow. Kermit is going to be here, your old pal.
Good morning,
So I'm really glad to see you here. You know, Jim Henson was here yesterday. You know Jim?
Well, you know, he's a guy that I hear a lot about, you know, and I keep hearing that he's around and he seems to have his hand in about everything, but I don't particularly know much about him.
Well, I hear you have your hand in a new movie called
what?
Yeah?
The Muppets Take Manhattan.
They do, huh?
Yes. Oh, do we ever?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great movie, too.
If you say so.
Oh, one of the best movies ever made. Probably the best.
I understand this movie gives you unusual range, Kermit.
Yes, well, as an actor, you see, Frank Oz was the director, and as an actor, it gave me sort of many different roles to play, you know, and I got to be different sorts of things, you know. At one point, I was a sort of a hotshot Hollywood agent, and another time I was a big producer and stuff like that. And so it was great because I got to do a lot of range.
Kermit, there is an historic event takes place in this movie, and I think we should let the people look at it right now, okay?
Yes.
Do you, Piggy, take this frog to be your lawful wedded husband? Do you?
I
Do you, Froggy, take this pig to be your lawful wedded wife until you die?
Well, Kermit, your wedding now. No suspense. Are you going to marry Miss Piggy or not?
Well, you see, this is part of the movie, and you have to see the movie to see what happens.
But the whole world is hanging on the answer about whether Kermit and Miss Piggy will be united in matrimony.
Well, we were married in a movie. I was an actor in a movie, and I played the part of someone who got married. That doesn't have anything to do with my own personal life, and my personal life I prefer to keep personal.
So, are you thinking of marrying Miss Piggy?
How many times have I told you? I just can't. I can't ask questions. You can't ask questions. I can't answer things like that. I don't ask you personal questions, do I?
I want to put myself in your place to see how it feels. So why don't you ask me a personal question so I can understand how you feel?
Okay. How's your sex life?
Well, that's sort of flattering, actually.
Well, okay.
Because that implies...
That's the kind of question. You see, you can't ask a question like that on television. You can't ask a question like that.
But I'm not engaged to a pig, I don't think.
Well, neither am I, see?
Okay, no more questions about marriage. I will alter my line of questioning.
Ooh.
Kermit, a lot of us don't know much about your background. Where were you born?
Oh, well, I had a rather humble beginning in a sort of a swamp in Mississippi, you know.
And did you go to school in Mississippi?
Well, it was in the swamp, and so, you know, the fish have schools. I went to a fish school. You know.
Did you have a favorite course? Was there some class that you particularly enjoyed?
Well, let's see. Biology was always interesting.
Weren't you afraid to go to biology class?
Well, not in the fish school. No.
No.
No, they cut up vegetables.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Because in our biology class, I won't tell you what happened.
I've heard about them.
Did you like to play games in school? Did you go at recess? Did you have fun?
Well, yeah. I liked always to play baseball because I could catch flies.
Oh, I see.
Played a lot of leapfrog.
Oh, did you play a lot of
Oh, sure.
What do you want for a wedding present?
Jan.
Thank you, Kermit. It's always a pleasure to have you here on today.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to be here. Nice to be here anyhow.
And if you ever run into Jim Henson, will you give him our regards?
I've never seen him before.
Well, you might recognize him.
Oh, okay.
He's tall, he has a beard, and he's a really nice man. And he walks around with a little TV monitor in his lap.
Oh, yeah?
That's how you recognize him.
I'll be on the lookout.
And he's always looking like he's looking for a cab. His hand is permanently in this position.
Really?
So you'll recognize him.
Okay.
Okay.